Attention bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn, so please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen!
Hello, yodelers! We are the Matterhorn Yodelers. I'm your host today, G5th, with
Jackie.
And I have
I'm
Peter.
Peter. I'm Imagineer Peter today. Man, I'm not on my game. I don't.
Off.
I was not prepared for any of my
3 weeks in a row. Off.
I know. I'm off. 3 weeks.
So we are here chit-chatting. We are gonna play like a fun, like you're in the queue.
We're doing
and
our armchair imagineering.
armchair imagineering. What would you want in a fifth park?
And this is also, we talked about this earlier this week when prepping this.
Like, what did we mean by this idea?
Yeah, but you brought up a good point when we were prepping for this of like not having any impact of what already exists.
No.
This is just like
Right. The idea behind
Multiverse
the idea,
parks.
Yeah.
the idea behind this is that with the recent Universal Park, new park that's opening, a lot of people have been speculating about a fifth park for Walt Disney World. It ain't gonna happen.
No.
No.
Not
They need to
anywhere
fix
close.
what's already
Correct.
there.
But we're just still gonna have fun with it and see like what would we want in a
Yeah.
fifth park at Walt Disney World.
And maybe an Imagineer listens to this and he goes, "That's a great idea.
Let's do it.
Let's do
I
it."
really hope an Imagineer listens to this one of my ideas because I would be so happy if it came true. I think it's that good.
Do you want to start us off?
Start
Yeah.
us off.
Yeah, start us off.
So, I want a Mary Poppins land.
Whoa.
Shocker.
That sounds
Poppins
fun.
land.
Doesn't
okay.
it?
All right.
Okay,
I'd go for
so-
that.
Is it a land? So where would this land be attached to? Is it
Well,
Magic Kingdom you'd want it, or where would you want this?
I don't know where. Okay, but I just know we were talking about like
Because you got to transition into
this
this
is
land
like a
somehow.
fifth gate, right? I almost thought this could be like the entrance almost. You
Oh, like
walk-
the main street.
the
So
main
So it'd be like an
street
so
is
offshoot.
cherry tree lane is the main
is
street.
the main street. So you've got
All right.
houses, you got the old style, UK vibes, and so you got the old houses, UK vibes. You've got the classic houses that you see in Mary Poppins, and you've got
The park and
the cannon that goes off every so often.
Admiral Boone.
That'd
yeah.
be good atmospherics for sure.
Yeah, and then of course you've got
Can we have like the 3 o'clock nannies blowing away?
That's the parade.
That's the parade. And Jane and Michael Banks.
and then a lot of the houses and stuff can be like shops and restaurants. I thought it would be fun to have like a tea shop or like a tea
Go to
restaurant.
Uncle Albert's.
Yeah, go to.
I love.
Love to love. Ha, ha, ha,
I thought
ha.
the bank could be like a French fry spot where all the birds come feed the birds.
Feed the birds, and they're really just giant, like costumes.
Got a picture with the birds.
I'm just thinking of like Animaniacs or
I want to picture the old beggar, the bird lady. You know, just like this lady with bird poop on her. Like,
Are we thinking? I'm thinking of like Home Alone
You're
2.
thinking of Home Alone, yeah.
That's what I
well,
think
she
of.
also does too. Well, I mean, she probably doesn't.
We can
poop
get a
on
2 for
her,
1
but
right there.
Realistically.
Everyone's gonna call her the Home Alone 2 lady.
But like there's a lot of fun buildings that could be like a fun like entrance to a park. And then of course you've got the actual like park that you see that like Jane and Michael go and play in, where you've got chalk cart and street performers and you got balloons for sale. And I thought it'd be fun if they were selling balloons that were shaped as a kite.
Ooh, that's a fun
Kite-shaped
idea.
balloons, yeah.
A kite-shaped balloon. I don't know. I think that would be so cute. And then you would, part of the park entrance is the entrance to the attraction, where you go in and it's it would think of like Mickey's Runaway Railway, like the art transformation.
Okay.
and scenes.
So it brings you into
a
the
piece
scene.
of art.
I mean, that ride does a really good job
Yeah.
and bring you into the
So
cartoon.
it would use that same technology, but the ride vehicle, it would be you on the carousel horse.
Right.
And you jump up and down.
So not a merry-go-round.
You would start on a merry-go-round,
But it takes-
right?
it
And you go
leaves.
around and then you leave.
That would be really cool.
Wouldn't that be so cool?
That would be cool.
That's like
You know, my parents would freak out. They're like, I wasn't expecting that. Get me off this
And
ride.
little kids would be like, "What's going on?"
Of course, they would have to have like some sort of modification for kids and
What they end up doing is have you in a vehicle that's shaped like the
yeah,
horse.
or
Right.
like a horse carriage or
Yeah.
something. But in my mind, I would want to be on like a carousel.
Maybe there would be
horse.
two versions. There'd be like the family version, and then there's like the Disney adult version,
Right.
Yeah,
where you like stay in here and you put the belt on like you're supposed to, and
I just think that would be so fun to like go through the adventure and then you end up back on the
it
carousel.
can be like that immersive art that you see, like
Yeah.
the Van Gogh one, you know, where you're like
Yeah.
in a room and
Yeah,
the
it's all
art piece comes
projection.
alive, and yeah.
And you're just going through adventure of classic art or whatnot. I don't know. I just think that would be so cool.
Would
I-
you incorporate the new Mary Poppins in there?
No.
No.
But that's
No.
because
It doesn't exist.
that's because I don't
It's dead to me.
care for the new Mary Poppins
How
movie.
many times have you seen it?
Once.
It gets better,
It gets
actually.
better with
It gets.
multiple
I'm
watches.
not one to. It actually does get better.
It's like
The
Phil
music-
Collins for you, though.
No, Phil Collins gets worse for me every time I see it. You can't say it. You've only seen it once.
I know.
It does get better. The music gets on because you have to.
You're
because
gonna have to force
You
me to watch
you
it.
gotta break the stigma of Julie Andrews.
The thing is, the movie by itself, like, if it wasn't named Mary Poppins, is a good movie.
Right.
But because it has that title,
Just go like.
I can't.
Just call it Harry Poppins.
Harry Poppins.
Harry Poppins. You know, and just pretend it's Harry.
It's hard. It's just, there's just so much in my body that's just denying it.
We need to have shirts. Harry Poppins.
Harry Poppins.
Is it like a hairy pitbull?
Harry Poppins.
So I just think that would be so cool, like, if they like actually did a Mary Poppins attraction.
How would you incorporate the chimney scene? I mean, that is awesome. Like the dance and.
Well, you could do a show on the street, on this, like, on one of the roofs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that would be.
I mean, it's iconic. The
the chimney sweep.
the chimney
dance.
sweepers.
Step in time.
Yeah, you would
you
have.
can do that at fireworks because they have everything
They
shooting
do.
off and like
do.
that would
Yeah.
be really cool.
Just have like fireworks go off, and then you got step in time, and you got the call, and like, I don't know. I just think it would be a fun idea.
So I know you said this would be like an offshoot at Main Street. So we talked about this. I think this would be really good at Epcot.
Oh,
and the English Pavilion.
absolutely.
Just completely take it over and then give the ride experience over there.
They could easily do this.
Get
in
rid
Epcot.
of the world of imagination. Just you could use that space.
It's the
Imagination Pavilion.
festival pavilion.
Yeah, there's
That's
a
what they
big
would take over.
pavilion.
Okay.
That they would do.
'Cause
So
that's right next to that.
that's what I would love to see. I hope Disney may hear this one day and make my dreams come true.
No, you're just gonna get the teacups.
I know when they announced like what the concept art of like the cut attraction of the Mary Poppins attraction, it was like teacups. Inside teacups. I was like, bleh.
What kind of restaurant would you have in there? 'Cause
It would be like a tea.
Do you want a tea?
Like a tea shop or like sandwich shop, like you know.
Tea and crumpets.
Yeah.
Tea and crumpets.
I mean, you played Bert in a play. Like,
did.
what would you want to see in this to kind of enhance the magic of a Mary Poppins
I mean,
themed land?
what would make it work would be the streetmosphere. And what I mean by streetmosphere
Awesome word.
is just live characters
Yep.
just walking down the street.
You got
just
the police officer walking
the
around.
constable,
Yep.
you got the chimney sweeps, you got, the kite
Bert
salesman.
in his like full like
Yes.
Yep,
like musical one-man band would be
band.
awesome.
One-man band would be awesome.
Like it's just atmospheric. That is all you would need. You don't
Yeah.
even need a ride. You just have
You need this right though.
streetmosphere, and it would be fantastic.
Do you like Jackie's idea for the ride?
It's fun. It's a fun idea.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say it's fine. I was like,
fine.
jeez, that was harsh. But no, it's fun. It's fun. I like the
Yeah.
It's a fun
idea
idea.
where you start on the carousel and you
And
ride.
you
off.
think
I-
it's a typical character, and then you're like, oh,
Like,
it's
and-
got that magic like Mary Poppins.
And you're
has.
right. The same sort of mechanics that they use for
Mickey's
Mickey
Runaway
would
would
work. It would work for that. Absolutely. So,
It works. Do you want to go or do you want me to go now?
um,
Mine's Star Wars land.
why don't you do yours?
Okay. So before they came out with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge,
Right.
which they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
But deep down, they missed an opportunity
Yes, they did.
to give me the movies. They created a new land, and I get it. I totally get what they did, where they had more control. But what all fans really want
Yep.
is
The
to,
IP.
to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like when Star Trek fans got to go on the bridge of the Enterprise in
Or
Vegas.
like Harry Potter fans go to Universal. And
Exactly. And that's where like I'd want like a Disney, like Magic Kingdom or Disneyland style park, but with Star Wars. I mean, they have 9 movies to play off of, many shows. My castle would be the Jedi Temple. Boom, right there in the center. At the 3:00 parade would be the Order 66 parade.
oh,
So they would come down, and you would have Anakin Skywalker
oh my god.
walk down the street, and by like 4:00, there would be smoke coming from the Jedi Council. There would be a stage parade of like Jedi, like Anakin fighting and killing Jedis.
I can't
And-
imagine like a little boy dressed as a Jedi sees Anakin like, ah!
Run.
Where do you think the younglings are coming from? Oh, do you want to be in this year's parade? So we get guests.
The parents are like, no.
Yes. No, there would be lots of parents going, yeah, you go on stage. And then they do like an Indiana Jones stunt show.
They go below
But the
stage.
younglings learn to die. The orders.
That's awful.
Would you not want to watch? You'd be like, but at the time of the parade, there would be little holograms that would turn on and be in propelled. And you're like, execute Order 66.
Well, no.
And everyone would be like, oh,
No.
and everyone would go down for the parade, like every time.
Well, what you do is you have them marching down the main street there, right? And then while they're in the middle of the street, like halfway down, that's when the order comes, and then they turn to the crowd.
They start looking for Jedi. Are you a Jedi? And like, and then like Anakin, like, oh man, oh man, I'm already. This parade is bomb. But leaving the temple, I think the temple is where you could do the Jedi training there too during the
Right.
day. It's great for the store. You can do it just you can play off of what was built on the first 3 movies at the temple. You can go to the library, store, build your lightsaber there. I think it would be a lot of fun. But as you go around the park, so like what we would normally have in Adventureland, I would make that my Tatooine, Mos Eisley.
Sure.
Where you can see Luke's house. You could do a Jawa Trader Shop, get one of those Earth crawlers in there in the background. And you could put Smuggler's Run. You could put the Millennium Falcon in that area. You can do a Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah.
People just...
Yeah.
that would just be fun. And I would also put a pod racer
racer?
game or ride.
A pod restroom.
Pod racer. You sit in the pod and you're pooping.
The more
And
you
when you-
poop, the faster you go.
You're like, you got some bubble going when you flush the toilet. Wachuba banta poodoo. No, I want a pod
Yeah.
racer ride.
Oh yeah.
So do you do it Like
Millennial Falcon, or
do you do like where it's a simulator, or do you do
You'd
more
probably have
cars,
to.
or do you do Cars Land kind of, where you have different lanes and you get in them like in pods? It would be.
or yeah, it would have to be some sort of simulator kind of
You think so?
experience for it to be more realistic. I mean, yeah, you could do
You want
it like
different outcomes. You don't want people thinking it's the same thing. Like, oh god, it would just really. I mean, they emphasize that in
Well,
the
I mean,
movie.
you can
so
do the
much.
same thing like they do at Star Tours. You just have different races. I mean, they've got pod racing all over the galaxy.
Yeah.
So, like, you can have different racings on
Different themes.
planets.
I would, yeah, it would be kind of like Millennial Falcon, where there's different pods and like you could, but like instead of it being like the same pod every time, you could get in different pod racer machines and
Yeah, I'd want to just be able to like. I want that competition. That's what makes like the Radiator Springs so fun. It's like the
Yeah.
trash talking that
Yeah.
we do.
That we do. Nobody else.
Nobody else
We
does
do
that.
it,
But when
though.
we start doing it, the other cars all like, "What? You're enhancing my experience," or I'm getting, "You're a weirdo. You're
Right.
like you're going down."
I know. I remember
Which makes it even better.
it does.
I
It
remember
totally does.
doing it once, and the old guy just looks at me and just is shaking his head like, no.
Don't do this, and you're like, "Yes, we're gonna win." I've only won once out of all the many times. I think they know. They're like, "Oh, it's that guy. I can't do it." Going back, yeah, I want a pod racer ride.
Yeah.
Just something that.
Or you could do like a pod racing roller coaster, like a dueling roller coaster.
I thought about the dueling, but I wasn't sure about that. I kind of have that later on.
Okay.
So the next thing land I would have like the Battle of Hoth. Have that right next to Mos Eisley.
Right.
Kind of have like you could do a shooting range, or you could do like a
No, you do the shooting range on Endor and you shoot Ewoks.
Ewoks. Pew, pew, pew. You could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be really cool to have like an indoor land.
It would be funny to have like a shooting range, but you have to put a stormtrooper helmet on. It's like really hard.
And it makes it really hard to
Yeah.
shoot. Yeah, or just like, I mean, I just want different scenes, and I think like getting in the trenches for like maybe you could do like a maze
Oh yeah.
through the trenches, and you kind of like you have like an immersive experience. And then the next area north of that, you'd have like Dagobah, where you can see like Yoda's like swamp and his little like hut, and that could
You got
transition into
seagulls
Endor.
playing in the background.
Is that what it
The
is?
song
Oh yeah.
Seagulls. play the song,
All
Peter.
Yeah.
Popping and rolling.
It would be like at the restaurant.
And I just think it would be really cool, like to have a meet and greet where you meet Yoda
Yeah,
there,
that would be good. Or even like baby
or Grogu.
Grogu. Yeah.
Have Yoda with baby Grogu.
This is my nephew. No.
We are not of relation. You move on to like Endor and transition into like the wooded land. You could do like Star Tours there. You could have like kind of like what they have in California Adventure with the like wooded like nets and stuff. You
Yeah,
get to climb
like an
around.
adventure park kind of vibe.
You could do like a Tron roller coaster, but with the
Speeder bikes.
with speeder bikes.
Oh yeah.
So where you're chasing each other kind of
would be
thing,
fun.
Going through the forest.
going through the
Maybe.
forest, and just hearing that like motor
That would
go.
be cool to have like the track go through like trees and stuff. Like that
And then
would-
like the end, like if you are like the stormtrooper, there's a Darth Vader anime, or no, not Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and he like busts out his like
and
animatronic,
You go into
and
like a black zone. You're like, oh dang it, I died.
it goes like, yeah, that would be.
Just go in a black tunnel.
That
like-
would be a fun ending.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would really complain about that.
Well, it's like Mr. Toad. Like you
Yeah.
end in hell. Like
Right.
It's like that has nothing to do with the story at all. Yeah, and then I'm kind of like stuck on like how to get a clone trooper experience. What kind of land? And I was thinking maybe like Dathomir, and you can introduce like the witches of Dathomir. It's like red, and I'm kind of transitioning to the dark side.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And like I want to get the clone troopers in there, and like and get like a kind of a battle scene, because you like the Republic versus the Separatists. You get the robots and get kind of an immersive kind of battlefield. Maybe you can do like a Star Tours kind of like battle, like ships and flying around. I think that would be a lot of fun. And you can really build on like the Dathomir kind of like witches story and get a Darth Maul kind
to
of
bring
like
the witches in, because a lot of people like the witches vibes, and
that's one thing they brought in from the cartoon show was that,
Yeah.
and it really builds. And then the next would be like a Death Star, or a Death Star, or do we
Yeah.
do a Superstar, or do a Star Destroyer like landing?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because that would just be cool, just like wander around and
Just to have that, and like you can go into the base. You could do like
fill the
the
trash compactor.
yeah. You can get your meet and greets, and then you could do like either you could do your dueling dragon kind of, but you go down the trench
Oh yeah,
of like the Death Star. So either you're on the rebel side, and then there's the Empire, and you come down,
That would be
and just
cool.
as you're going through and trying to like maneuver,
Yeah.
you'd eventually go like super fast down the trenches, and like
It would
at
be
the,
like a
you would hear a
takeoff.
voice going, "Luke, use the Force," and and deeper out in the background you'd hear like Yavin 4 going, "What are you doing? You're playing with our lives." I just think
That would
that
be
trench
cool.
run would be really, really
would be
cool roller
cool
coaster
coaster.
experience. And then you can end with like Yavin 4, not Yavin 4, Mustafar, and you can have a stage show with Obi-Wan versus Anakin, and it would end,
the
like,
high ground.
"I've got the high ground, Anakin," and I just want to hear Anakin every 3 hours going,
You know what?
and just see his
so
little bloody,
funny.
see his little nubbits, and then like the Emperor's at the end going, "Pick a map."
It's so funny because it's like you would think you get tired of it, but every Star Wars fan loves that scene.
It's just
Every Star
it's
Wars
over the
fan
top, but
loves it.
you hear the hate like, "I hate you," like it's like sibling. There's that moment where you're just like you're looking at your and I was like, "I hate you so much."
I can only imagine the actor of Anakin. What's his name? Christian
Hayden.
Hayden. How many people go up to him and be like,
Oh, I think the sand is way more like,
Oh.
"Hey man,
Hate
how do you like sand? Does it get everywhere?" And be like, "I hate you."
Or the high ground.
Oh,
That
yeah,
or
yeah.
the
high ground.
It'd be
I
like
have the
they're on
high
the bench. You're like, "I've got the high ground, Anakin."
He'd probably yeah.
Yeah, that's my career. That's all I did. Yeah, I kind of want that. And you could have Kylo Ren at Mustafar, because that's where he was in the last one. And you do like an Emperor meet and greet in one of them.
So you're going like kind of older Star Wars.
I was really having a hard time because they never. I was like, let's go to Jakku, or like, that's a weird. What is up with these desert planets everywhere? Yeah, you never really get comfortable with one location.
Right.
There's the one like really cool like battle scene, kind of like Hoth in Last Jedi, where they're like using
Right.
little racers in there. But I was like, it's really hard like to come. I think Battle of Hoth would be a better like kind of
Oh, yeah, it's
situation
more
to go
iconic.
around. But with me, it was Star Wars Land. I would always I want to be in the movie.
Yeah.
This is where Harry Potter Land nails it.
Yep.
You are fully immersed in the story. People go in London, they go to the set, and they love it. They pay an exorbitant amount of money
Yep.
for something that's just like, oh, it's just a set. Like, it's really flat,
Yeah.
but they love it.
Yeah.
They really do. You could do the same thing with Star Wars Land.
Yeah. I think that's what people wanted.
They
to
wanted
see.
a giant land and just put me in the movie.
Yeah.
And transition. You did it at like Hollywood studios where you're going from like one weird land to a next.
Yeah.
And it didn't really flow. Like
Right.
there's a part of you like you could get lost at Hollywood studios at a moment.
Yeah.
Like, did I go here? And this, it wandered, as opposed to like a giant loop. But yeah. What I want is the Order 66 parade. I really want
That's the one.
the youngling. Oh, let's get your
I
little
want a
ones up
Mary
there.
Poppins attraction. You want to kill young
I want
boys.
Order 66 parade. If I had the Death Star, they would shoot a laser, to the other side.
They would have like a Death Star up in the distance, and they're like shooting a laser down.
I mean, as drone technology gets better, you could have like little starfighter,
that
fights.
That would be a cool like Star
Night sh-
Wars drone show like that, or yeah.
I've always just wanted a Star Wars land like that.
Okay.
And I know other people have said that, but it's what I
great.
want. It's my fifth park. I don't care what's going on anywhere else.
Right.
I'd want
Right.
that. All right, Peter, what do you got?
I went with the theme of heroes and villains.
That's a really good theme.
Yeah.
I think it opens the door to almost anything and everything. And so I think it like
Where does the Brother Bear go?
Brother Bear didn't make this
Where does
far.
Stitch go?
Stitch belongs in the movie.
I tried to,
Not in the park. Jackie hates him out of the movie.
I tried to stay away from themes and movies that already exist in other parks. So like I don't have Peter Pan because that already has several.
What is Peter Pan? Is he a hero or is he a villain?
No.
But I thought like the first one that came to mind, Hercules.
Yeah.
It's built on that.
mean-
It's the heroic dream. It's yeah.
Right, like having like a themed area to like Olympus
Greek
or
kind
a Greek
of-
themed
From hero
area.
to zero.
Yeah,
hero.
I think
or
that'd be
zero to
nice.
hero, not hero to zero.
yeah, right. But like you can have, like you can have the muses out there singing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be
kind
awesome.
of like the Voices of Liberty.
or
but,
or
like,
the what are the
The fairy
what's the
girls?
quartet group? The Dapper Dans.
Oh yeah.
yeah, like they would be like the Dapper Dans of the area for sure.
Oh,
like,
get some gospel like Hercules music.
but I think like having like a chariot type of attraction.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, a chariot race.
Yeah.
Like it could be a
that would
chariot
be
race.
fun.
that-
Race Apollo.
like and or it could just be. I would even be fine if it was just like a book report book,
Yeah.
a book report ride.
As you just go through the story
You
of
go through
Hercules.
but that's your vehicle is a chariot.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
I like
know?
it.
That would be
I
fun.
like Hercules.
Yeah.
I felt like the icon of
Would one side of the park be heroes and one side be villains?
no.
Are you
I
intermingling
think I'm
them with the lands?
I think I'm intermingling it. That's just the overall theme, so that like, because you tend like with especially like a Magic Kingdom, it's very like hero princess themed. You don't get a lot of villains. The villains are like sparse, and so like to get a place where the villains and the heroes could interact, like who would be? It would be great to have like a fun '80s walk around character. That would be awesome. Not
I can see like one side of the area is like Hades and the other
Sure.
side is like
and you
Olympus.
Could totally
Yeah.
do that. And you could totally do that.
Get
You have
that
to
one
go
guy. He's like,
downstairs.
thanks a lot, Hercules. Like he would be a good villain side right there.
But I felt like the icon of the park would be Maleficent's castle.
Oh yeah.
I felt like that would be the perfect.
Could you
icon
do
of
like
the park.
one side is hero, one side is villain?
For what?
Like the weenie.
Oh, I mean, you could. Oh, you would maybe do that with like a Beauty and the Beast style
Oh,
thing. So
like
like
where
you
half
have,
of it's
like-
the cursed side, half of it's
Yeah.
The non-cursed
I
side?
can see that because you're sitting from a different point of view of the story or whatnot. I like that idea.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I felt like I think a good Aladdin area would be good to have like a
Yeah.
fun
Yeah.
interactive like Cave of Wonders, magic carpet ride.
And then
Yeah.
Jafar
With
there
the
going
lava
Prince
and all that
Sababu.
Right. Like there's great
Only if there's a spitting camel.
tons of spitting.
I loved walking back to the break room and seeing some unexpected like guests just get nailed in the face and they're like so bad like who did that and I'm like camel spit watch out and they just like they look at me like how dare you do this to me and be like I'm on break bye.
Right.
Yeah.
So in Tokyo, they have this attraction, the Monsters Inc. attraction, their
Oh.
hide and seek attraction with the flashlights.
Yes.
So my take is that we do it in 101 Dalmatians themed.
Ooh.
Oh,
So you're looking for the
fun.
Dalmatians in the scene with the flashlight.
Oh, that's
Could it be like
clever.
Buzz Lightyear where you're shooting them with the flashlight and be like I
Are
found you
the
and
villain side?
yeah you're in the vehicle and you're
Well, you get
shooting with a
points.
light and
You
you're
get-
getting
you-
points
yeah.
for each one you find.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that would be great.
That would
Buzz
be
Lightyear
fun.
style with that, but with
Yeah.
But finding puppies.
but finding puppies, not
Yeah.
shooting them with lasers.
Oh, I thought you were shooting them with lasers. I was like, are you the villain? I don't think this is a good idea, shooting puppies.
I think a fun coaster would be like the fight against Maleficent as in dragon form. So like having a
Ooh.
Maleficent dragon roller coaster where you're like going through and like trying to fight the dragon while you're on the roller coaster sort of
That's
thing.
fun.
I thought a fun mountain ride would be I forgot what the mountain's called, but a Chernobog attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always
You know,
wanted that.
Big
you
storm
go through
and-
that. You go through the mountain, and inside the mountain, that's your show building. So it'd be kind of like Cars in that sense of like, you journey in, and you have that illusion of you're being outside, but you're
That's
really
gonna
inside
scare
sort of
some
thing.
people.
Yeah.
That is a scary scene in Fantasia.
That'd be cool.
It would be really good.
But I also thought, Star Wars could also fit here.
Yeah.
Hero, villains. I mean, this is where if you want to put in original characters in Simlish, but you can do that right here. You put Mos Eisley. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Just give us a setting people are familiar with, and that would be enough.
People like creepy things, and like Hollywood Horror Nights is so popular with
Super huge.
Universal.
I had no
And-
idea until I went to Florida, and it is a
Yeah,
big thing
it's
there.
huge. And so Disney can kind of dig into the villain and the creepier and the darker side of
They should do
Disney.
like a very scary Mickey party where there is like an
Yeah.
age restriction, like
Agreed.
you must be in a Disney adult
Well, they tried
or
to-
teenager.
They tried to do like you can meet and greet zombie Captain America, but I guess it didn't turn out very well.
I thought
But
it did
I've-
go well. I thought he had.
Was
big
it a little
lines.
dead?
I thought
It-
they brought it back.
No, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
It was like a special thing, but I'm like, that would be so fun to see zombie like.
I thought, how about this? We recently had our second day with Walt Disney. I thought maybe we'll have a what is it, the swamp boat, but we'll do Princess and the Frog themed with Dr. Facilier.
Oh yeah.
So you're in a swamp,
Oh,
You're
like
in
a
the-
swamp tour almost, or like,
you're going through like the swamp and you see like the shadows and things like that.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, you could also
So it's a
like,
boat ride.
It's a boat
But with
ride.
swamp. So it's like, to me, I'm building it off of Jungle Cruise.
Sure. Like
Yeah,
think of
because
it like
you could have
Jungle
different
Cruise.
villains pop in, like the evil queen, like the old hag, Mother Gothel.
Yeah, you could definitely play in, like, you could throw in other ones in there, but I do like the theme of the Princess and
Yeah.
the Frog for sure.
For sure, yeah.
For a water ride.
It's like even
Because
if
it's
you
not
just-
a boat ride, it's definitely a water ride.
It's a water ride. Well, the thing is, like, I think you just have the story of Princess of the Frog
Yeah.
of like you're following with the shadow people looking
the shadow
for
people.
Tiana and things like that. Like that would be really cool, fun effects, and I think it would be a really cool ride.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely awesome at nighttime.
I mean,
Or
obviously,
maybe probably inside. You think? Do you think the swamp would be better control? Because you're dealing with dark shadows, and it's
Right.
really hard.
it would
during
probably
the
be
day.
an indoor attraction, most likely, like a
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Maybe they could have
and
live
stuff.
action people play the shadows during the day. Like, what's going on? You're like, I'm a shadow.
But like,
Yeah, they just have like those like car things, like the wavy people that like
Oh
blow
yeah,
up in
the
air.
little floats like moves. Yeah, that's when they start cutting the budget.
right.
Just get one of those car inflatable wavy thingies. That'll be the shadows.
And then you get like an area like a New York type setting, and that's where you have your Marvel
Yeah.
heroes and villains
That'd
and
be
things
good.
like that, where you just have like random occurrences that take place around.
You can get the villain from Oliver and Company.
right? Right.
Everyone goes like Oliver and Company.
What's his name? Is it Sykes or something like that? I forget his name.
Billy Joel's playing the piano.
We didn't start the fire.
No, you're Dodger.
But yeah, I mean, like, throw Marvel in there. You get a good Marvel attraction, like an Avengers type attraction, or even Spider-Man, whatever you want to do. But
Spider-Man.
Maybe an attraction where you fight heroes in a multiverse. Oh, I'm just kidding.
That's-
Scratch that.
I think it would be. I think that would be more fun than the Marvel campus that we've got
Right.
being
Yeah.
set in New
A
York
city.
because they've already set a movie there. You have multiple stones there.
Yep.
Multiple lots
multiple
of characters.
characters are
You got
placed
Doctor
there.
Strange house there, and
Oh,
you
that'd
got
be a cool ride. A
Spider-Man.
Doctor Strange ride.
Doctor
would be
Strange
fun.
attraction.
Ooh, like very like trippy.
So you know how they did the Spider-Man where you're shooting, but you have like you can like block things. Like you've got like circles on your hands,
Yeah.
and like they do the screen. I don't know. They did the Spider-Man ride. They did a great job in doing that.
Yeah.
My daughter liked it. I was still struggling. I was like, how does this work? You know.
And so, and you know, you would just, I think just having a lot of different like shows with like, you know, heroes and villains fighting each other is always fun and exciting
Yeah.
in any setting. I think that's always like a fun part of any sort of show. And so,
And you got plenty of material to work off of. And the land would never go stale.
and
No.
it wouldn't. Like it's always refilling with ideas.
And an area goes
people
flat, then they
and-
could just tear it down and put in a whole new hero
That's it.
villains.
Yep.
And it's modular in
Yeah.
that
That's
way.
That's exactly right, and it would be easy to make nighttime shows for that because it's just you just use hero versus villain music and like have that sort of
Oh, that'd be so fun.
right. So
Yeah.
that
Maybe
was
we could bring your hero versus villain parade from our Halloween episode.
Oh yeah, where they're fighting at the like
There we
go.
at the
at the hub.
At the hub, yeah.
Man, that would be awesome. Colliding.
Floats and
Darth
yeah.
Vader's going in there choking people. Wanda's coming out. It's like, no, I'm confused. I don't know what side I'm on.
Right. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that was kind of my idea. I thought it would be fun to have just, it's a very simple theme that isn't too complicated and it's easily adaptable for any sort of IP project, IP movie that you want to throw in there because most of your movies have a hero or a villain.
I had a
in
good
it,
idea
and
for
so-
like the New York. You can have like Thanos's jazz
kitchen.
like jazz kitchen. He'll call it Snaps.
Oh yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
And then you have like a gem for each like kind of like different drink.
Right.
I like it.
All
Yeah.
right. Yep. That's my
I
idea.
like it. It's
Yeah.
good. I like your idea, Jackie. I for a moment there I forgot that I was hosting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a great kind of like Peter said, armchair Imagineering, something that while you're waiting in line, you're like, what would I put in my park? What would like if I'm Walt, what
do
would I would
wanna
have done?
see?
Yeah, what do you think other people would want to see
Yeah.
too? So share with us your ideas of like, man, this would make an
Ooh,
awesome
hydro
park.
coaster. Like
Ooh.
the like in the Hercules area.
Ooh, that would be cool. And how
Yeah.
it like corkscrews.
Yeah.
I mean, all you need is the frame of an idea, like the heroes versus villains, and you can just roll with it.
Yeah.
And you're not like pigeonholed, like
Into
you know, like
I built Cars Land and nothing else can be here.
Yeah.
exactly, and it's stuck there until we're tired of it.
Yep.
50 years later, and no one
Yep.
remembers
That's like,
that.
I think that's like the hard thing with now Disney parks.
What, do you got Tomorrowland of 96 and you're like, how do we build tomorrow when you have
It's
Terminator
like-
coming out like, we own 20th century now. It's the future.
Alien.
AI,
Well,
alien.
and it's just like what Universal is doing with their new park is like they're doing like portals into lands. That's how they're transitioning into these different IPs. And it's just like,
and that's what fans want.
right.
It's built for social media
Yeah.
and fulfilling dreams of being immersed in the universe that they love.
And so like coming up with like a general concept of a land, or like Peter's was good, like heroes versus villains, right? It's very adaptable, but it's just like what other kind of generic things that can be changed or molded. and-
Incorporated, cut, and
yeah. That's the hard part. And so that's why Disney's not jumping into a fifth park or whatnot.
Well,
And-
there's a lot of reasons why they're not jumping into it.
well, yes,
That's a
there's
lot
a
of
lot.
money.
There's a lot into it. There's a lot of politics and money and whatnot. But that's why you're seeing like Disneyland 4 where it's expanding existing and not a new park.
I think so. I agree. Yeah, so with that being said, let us know what kind of cool park ideas would you want. Is it a land themed? And where would it be? And like what kind of food, what kind of rides? You know, what do you want to experience in these parks? You know, would you make a true Toontown? You know, like, you know, what would you put in there? So let us know on our social medias. So with that being said, Auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember, before your bobsled comes to a complete stop, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember...
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.